Hi guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. I got some great news for you all before I start this video. I just took a shower, which means that not only are you getting definite information in this video, but you are also getting told that wonderful information by Shower Fresh Sean. So Shower Fresh Sean is here for you today to talk about the two types of rarity that make up the entire antiques and collectibles trade. And this is what, judging by the comments I'm getting on some of my more recent videos, a lot of you guys are missing. This is the missing piece that you need to properly assess these markets. Now, several weeks ago, I did a video right here on this channel talking about the two different types of demand that make up the entire antiques and collectibles trade. And spoiler alert, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the two types of demand that make up the antiques and collectibles trade. On one side of the spectrum, you have organic demand, which is what you want. That is 100% pure demand, meaning people are drawn to that particular item, asset, collectible, antique, whatever it is. They want to own it. They either have an emotional attachment to it or it has a proven track record in the trade. On the other end of that spectrum is something called hype-driven and or speculative demand. Now, this is something that you got to be cautious about, especially if you are investing in items over the long term. You're not buying items at a discount to flip on the secondary market, meaning you're not a dealer. You don't have access to wholesale rates to get a lot of these items and or collectibles. If you're somebody that is coming into the market that wants to invest in antiques and collectibles, you must understand the differences between organic demand and or hype-driven speculative demand. This is very important basic stuff that is going to help you become a better collector, investor, or speculator. Now, to be fair, in the year 2021, almost every market in the antique and collectibles trade that is going strong has some element of hype-driven demand. Whether we look at vintage Magic the Gathering, whether we look at rare coins, whether we look at the contemporary art market, even traditional antiques right now. In certain cases, some categories of traditional antiques are selling at all-time highs, just like certain categories of collectibles are selling at all-time highs. So it's very important to understand the type of demand that is out there for the items that you want to invest in. That's why I am very cautious when something like an Incredible Hulk 181 and CGC 9.4 starts upticking to the point where it's now a $21,000 comic book in the year 2021, where just a year ago you could have got it for $10,000. It is completely insane as to how much speculative euphoria is clouding investors, collectors, and speculators' judgments. Now, what does this have to do with rarity? Well, rarity is a word that we often throw around in the antiques and collectibles trade, and we really don't think much of it. Now, I've done a lot of videos on this. I stated this before. On the collectibles side of the trade, the term rarity is used to death. It's even used to describe items that are in demand, meaning they're anything but rare. I see people list like a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3, cartridge only, for the Nintendo Entertainment System on eBay, and they call it rare simply because you can't go to your local Walmart or Target and buy that particular game at present time. I mean, it's completely ridiculous how people describe anything that can't be bought at a traditional store in the year 2021 as rare, because most of these items are not rare. Rare is a word that has true meaning, especially if you guys gravitate towards the antique side of the trade. You guys start talking about antiquities, certain types of artwork, even certain coins. Rarity is very important and it is sacred. If you attribute an item as being rare and it is not rare on the antique side of the equation, people are going to come at you and they're going to be very upset thinking that you are misleading the description of that particular item. So it's kind of unique how rarity works on the antique side of the trade and how it differs from how we sometimes view it on the collectible side of the trade. Now, when we talk about rarity, there are two types of rarity that govern the antiques and collectibles trade. Let me say that again, because this is very important. There are only two types of rarity that govern the entire antiques and collectibles trade. Those two types of rarity are condition rarities and absolute rarities. Now, a condition rarity is a collectible whose value is primarily derived from its high degree of preservation. So when you come into the comment section on some of the videos that I produce and you say, Sean, you're getting this all wrong, I'm investing in Marvel Universe trading cards in PSA 10 condition or better, meaning I guess like a PSA 11. I don't know that that exists, but that's literally word for word a comment that I got left on my videos. So if you guys out there, if you ever do come across a PSA 11, can you let me know? Can you send me an email on that? Because to my knowledge, PSA only goes from 1 to 10, and I've never seen a PSA 11. So that would be something that I would be interested in seeing. But if you are of that mindset, as flawed as it is, understand you are arguing that condition rarity tops the other type of rarity in the antiques and collectibles trade, which is known as absolute rarity. Now, let me give you the definition of absolute rarity if you already don't know 6 minutes into this video. An absolute rarity is a collectible whose rarity is based more on the total number known to exist than its grade. So condition matters, don't get me wrong, but for something to be an absolute rarity, let's say that we have a coin out there where there's less than 25 known examples out there as a whole. Now, let's say that we look at another coin, like an 1881 Carson City Morgan silver dollar, and you happen to have that coin in MS 67 or MS 68 condition. If you have an 1881 Carson City Morgan silver dollar in MS 67, 68 condition, you have what is known as a condition rarity. It is not an absolute rarity. The items that you want to go after in the antiques and collectibles trade for investment purposes are absolute rarities, guys. A lot of you are making a mistake by paying a premium for an average or an everyday item in tip-top grade when you should be going after truly rare and scarce items. This is why people who collect comic books, if you guys wonder why all these prices are soaring for Action Comics 1, Detective Comics 27, even Batman 1, go look at the CGC census and see how many exist in each subsequent grade. There are virtually none out there. Those items are absolute rarities. That's why they bring in the money that they bring in at auction. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, a lot of you guys reach out to me and you go, Sean, I fully admit that I'm a Timmy. I'm putting all my money in comic books like Amazing Spider-Man 300 in CGC 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom. Yes, it is a key book, but guess what, guys? It is by no means rare. It's by no means conditionally rare in 9.8 condition. It's by no means absolutely rare by any definition of the word. That book is common as day. This is why sophisticated investors like myself avoid items like Walking Dead 1 or Amazing Spider-Man 300. Those particular comic books don't have condition rarity and they don't have absolute rarity. Now, I know what my critics are going to say, and I want to respond to this first. Well, Sean, what about an Amazing Spider-Man 300 in 9.9 condition? Do you really think that's a wise book to invest in when there's like 20 to 30,000 graded copies of that book out there? You're going to pay a premium for it in 9.9 condition in the year 2021? Are you nuts? That's why if you have any type of analysis on how to invest in a lot of these markets and a lot of these collectibles, you're going to want to go towards items that have absolute rarity. Not items like PSA 10 Marvel Universe trading cards, because you seem to think right now there's only 2 out there, therefore I'm going to invest in that, not realizing there's a gazillion other examples in lower grade. If you want me to prove this to you, I will be happy to do a video where I analyze a lot of these markets and I show you examples of condition rarities versus absolute rarities, and 9 chances out of 10, the condition rarity does not do as well as the absolute rarity on an investment continuum. So we can analyze this just by looking at what's been happening with rare coins what's been happening with certain comic books, what's been happening with certain toys. Video games are going to fall prey to this. Trading cards are going to fall prey to this. Understand the concept of rarity. Absolute rarity will always trump condition rarity with few exceptions. That is the lesson for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great morning, and please let me know what you think in the comment section below.